Hello everybody. My name is Umberto. I'm a financial analyst of foreign trade, and today in this webinar we're going to talk about economic news and the economic calendar. So I'm going to explain you the main topics of fundamental analysis and how does it work. Okay, so and then after that we're going to discuss a little bit. If you have any questions, discuss about which economic data can influence the binary options, and also which speeches can give some volatility to the market. Okay, so topic those are the main topics of our webinar today. So we're going to start with economic news and economic calendar. So basically we have the fundamental analysis, which is trading on news. So how does it work? It's working as a working with financial news is the only method of fundamental analysis creating a short-term trading. The bottom line is to analyze the economic indicators that the traders can know, and this knowledge about, like, for example, GDP or interest rates, inflation rates, these economic indicators, will influence the currency. Okay, and because of this, there is going to be a volatility in the market, and then we can use it as our advantage to start trading in binary options. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to write in our chat. Okay, I will explain them during our presentation, but at the end, we have some minutes to talk about your questions and doubts. Okay, so the next slide is about trading on news. So the main idea of earning on news trading is to open a deal exactly at the time of the release of the fundamental data. Okay, so we have a tool. It's called economic calendar, where we have all the main important events of the day, and that is like you can choose the time according to your local zone. So then you can manage and know exactly when a news is going to be released. So you access our platform, and a couple, like 1 minute before the news released, or a couple seconds before the news release, you open the transactions, and then you will see that a large candlestick will follow the news, and then you will be able to close uh, your deal that is not profitable, and then make money on your profitable transactions. So the next slide is about the trader earns at the time of the news of the publication due to the sharp and impulsive movement of the currency pair, which I just already expressed early, which is basically this gives us a high and really large candlestick, and because of this price difference, price volatility, we will be able to make profit on that in short period of time. Maximum in 10 minutes, we will be able to make profit. So trading on news is the strongest movements in trading news occur when actual data is not predicted by the analysis, or they are worse and better than the predicted data. So if the market, let's say an example, if the market thinks that unemployment rate in the European Union will be, let's say, 5%, and then we're going to have this news, and then the news shows that actually the actual employment rate would be, let's say, 8%. So basically the analysts, they were predicting that the economy of Europe, in this case, in this example, would be stronger, but because of the real data, real publication, we're gonna have uh, um, a problem, a weaker economy, because there are more unemployed people, and this will make the euro weaker. Okay, so we can trade with euro, like euro and dollar, or British pounds and euro. We would take the advantage of this news and trade based on the stability of the economy. Okay, so because of this, we have a tool to check it. Like I said, we have the economic calendar, and the next slides I will present what is the economic calendar, what is economic calendar is about, and then I'm going to explain you how to use it and what you should pay attention on that. So here we have the slide, what is economic calendar, and then when you check it in our when you're in our platform, there is the space for you, then it's called analytics, and then you will be able to see that we have the economic calendar there. And when you click it, you have this screen, like here in the figure, and basically you can choose, like for example, the time that you want to check the news, like yesterday, usually is like yesterday, today, tomorrow, and during this week. But you can also select it, the time frame here in the calendar. So basically, when you do that, it shows all the economic news and speeches, like presidential speech or central bank speeches, that gives you, or that is going to give you impact in the economy. So here says the economic calendar is the most relevant and significant economic events that influence the currency and the market in general. Okay, so basically, as you can see in this screen, you have, like for example, in Australia, you have like our index of retail sales. We have, like for example, in Japan, we have like GDP data. Okay, you have, like for example, in America, we have like crude oil inventory. So all these news are in the same day. So basically, we have like different countries, okay, from all the continents, and they are gonna show economic data for you, and then you can use this news, these predictions, the forecast, like the previous ones, so you can compare and start trading before the news is released. So the first step to use the calendar is to choose your period of interest. Like I said, you can choose the current day, tomorrow, this week, and in your time frame. Okay, and then you can choose also the countries or the regions that you want to check the news on. For example, if I'm only interested in European countries and want to trade with euro or British pound or Swiss franc, I'll select these countries, the European countries, so the economic calendar will only show me the economic events of these countries. We will have a question. We share strategies of indicator. This webinar is focused only on economic news, economic news trading in the economic calendar, and we're gonna explain about fundamental analysis. But during the next, we have a series of webinars, and this series we trade with also. We also explain strategy with indicators. We explain strategy with Japanese candlesticks, but this webinar today is focused on fundamental analysis and trading news. Okay, so if you have any questions about the indicators or like different type of strategies, well, we can talk really quick in the end of the presentation, just like specific questions. But you can also access onlintrade.com, and you have like an education space that you can see which indicators you want to use it. Yes, of course you can ask about binary gambit. I'm going to explain a little bit after these slides. After I explain about the economic calendar, I'm going to talk about binary gambit, of course. So the second step after you chose the countries that you are willing that you want to select and check them, you have to pay attention and then we have to pay attention on choosing and selecting the news that will have a impact on the market. For example, low volatility, moderate volatility, and high volatility. So basically, we have like in our economic calendar, we choose like the ones that have like three bulls head. This is the way that you are measuring them, like the three bull heads, three bull heads. So basically, when you see this news, most likely, really high probability that it's gonna impact the market and the price of the asset just right the news is published. So after that we have like you check it the news. Okay, so here we selected the news which we are working with, and then for example at 4:16:30, like at 4:30, we know that we're gonna have this news in America, and then we go up to our platform. We choose to trade with American dollars, and like it's American euro and dollars, or dollars and pounds. So then we open the transactions in different option in different positions, one up and one down, and then after the news is released, we're gonna see the movement of the candle, and then we can, after some time, after like 30 seconds to a minute, we closed the position that's not profitable, and we recover part of our investment, and then we would make profit on the second transactions that we opened. So now, what news are the most significant impact? So news about economic data as GDP, inflation, indexes, okay, speeches of important person such as the head of Federal Reserve, the head of central banks, okay. So those are the news that usually show in our economic calendar that they have three bulls head, okay. So again, what are the what is the strength of the volatility news? So we have non-farm payrolls news, interest rates decisions, GDP, crude oil inventories, indexes, also balance of trade from United States, from China. They also have like high impact in the volatility of the market. So now the popular strategy, the binary gambit, I'm going to explain what is it. So I already talked a little bit what is it, but now we're going to focus and discuss what is it. So if you have any question about binary gambit, please write in our chat. So first of all, this strategy work best with strong currencies, the main currencies, for example, UK, British pounds, Japanese yen. Also with Canadian dollar, when the news in Canada are released, most likely the Canadian dollars, if it's good news and the market expects it, the Canadian dollar will get stronger, But if it's at the same time, if it's a bad news and news that the market didn't expect it, the Canadian dollar will get weaker. Okay, so we can also trade using Canadian dollars in our platform. You can earn you can also earn on the biggest news considering the Eurozone. However, you have to pay attention that if you have like two different news at the same time, one news in Europe and another news in America, and they are both strong, you can have we don't know, it's hard to predict it if the euro and the dollar will get weaker or stronger. So we have to pay attention that when you're selecting the news, you select news that is like unique at this time frame for the country, for the euro, like eurozone. Okay. So basically, how does binary how does binary Gambit work? So it's the next step, binary, which I'm going to explain here. So when you selected the news in the economic calendar, you know that, for example, at 4:30 we have the news about American GDP. Okay, and since the market has already did research, the market, like the analysts, they already had some idea if the American economy is recovering or it's stronger. So we make a prediction, and let's say that the GDP will grow, for example, than the previous one. So it will be like higher than the previous one. Or we have like a figure and say the GDP will be at this amount. So we know that at 4:30 we're gonna have this news. So we go our platform at 4:25, and then we check it, and then we open two transactions, one transaction to up and one transactions down. Okay, and then we wait until the news is released. So when the news is released at 4:30, you will see it's really clear, it's really easy to visualize that if the news is good as the market, the actual data is good as the market predicted, you're going to see a strong bullish for the dollar. So you're going to see a really large green candlestick. Okay. However, at sometimes if the news is not as good as the market expected, you will see a green large red candle. So it means that the price will go down. And if the price goes down, okay, if the asset of the price goes down, you know that the economy might react negatively. So basically, after the news is released, 1 minute, like 30 seconds before after the news, you close the transactions that's not profitable for you, and then you're going to recover an amount of your money of your investment, and after that you can also just wait for the time of the second one, the second transactions that you make, and then you're going to receive the profit. So basically, when you do this, you're going to receive at least from 15 to 20% of your profit in just, like, let's say here in the time at the setting time at 8 minutes. So in 8 minutes, you might even using binary gambit and choosing high volatility news, you would receive at least 10 to 20% of your investment back in 8 minutes. So it's a good strategy that people who are beginners that are learning how to start trading binary options, and then but we have to be careful that we advise you to only use no more than 5% of your trade amount. Okay, we don't advise you just because you saw it, you know that the news are gonna be good and be positive, and you know that the market might increase. You're gonna invest your whole deposit at these two transactions. We don't advise to do that. We always say to our clients, to the beginners, to the traders that are starting, only invest 5% of your trade amount. Okay, these are maybe probably the first basic rule that we tell to the beginners, to newcomers, that when you open a transactions, only use 5% of the total amount that you have to make the transaction. Okay, so then the final slide about the presentation is that, as I already explained, after the publication, you're gonna see here, for example, in the window, the figure, you can see that we have like a price here, and then the news came, and then the price went really high in this period of time. This is because of the volatility of the currency, and because the news is good news, so that's why the price went high, because there is a like bullish trend. So you would receive the profit when you open up transaction. So to summarize, after 2-3 minutes necessary to sell the trade that is not unprofitable, and then you just wait to the close and the timer expired of the transaction. So basically, in the end, like, just to summarize our webinar, if the trade asset doesn't change outside the forecast, your net profit will be from 10 to even 20% of the amount of your trades. So again, just to summarize and to finish our webinar, when you're doing binary gambit, you are using fundamental analysis, which is the analysis based on the news of the market. You have to use our economic calendar that you can check it in our platform. You select the news with 3 bulls head, which is the news which has high volatility in the market. You, couple of minutes before the news is released, you go to our platform, you open one up transaction, one down transactions. You go back to the economic calendar to check it when the news is released. You're gonna see that the candlestick, a large candlestick, will be made because of the volatility of the market. And then if the market is going up, you would sell and recover the transaction that you put down, and then you just wait the 8 minutes that you selected to our trade, and you receive profit as 20 or up to 20% of all the investment that you made in these two transactions. So it's a simple transaction. Fundamental analysis, it's quite easy to understand. So I wish you successful in your transactions. If you have any questions, you can contact our support team in our platform. So thank you for your time and attention, and see you in the next webinar. Goodbye. Have a good day.